Welcome to another installment of Life Unfiltered episode.
6.
Yes, yeah, we've gone that far. That's good.
Yeah, not too bad, eh?
Yeah, not too bad.
We're getting there.
We're getting there. So yeah, today I'm excited for the topic that we're going to discuss. I'm really looking forward to it. But first, tell me, how are you?
I'm feeling a lot better today. As you can see, I'm wearing a vest. I feel a lot lighter. Exams are out of the way. We are done for now. Until next semester, we're gonna wait for the results. I'm not really looking forward to that. There's one thing about me, any form of results, even if I know maybe I did well, I always get this anxiety over results, whether like exam results, interview results, test results, blood tests, and stuff like that. They always give me goosebumps, man. I'm not good at dealing with that. Although sometimes I know that there's nothing probably negative that's going to come back from it. With the blood results, they should be negative to show that you're on the safe side.
Yes.
Yeah, because if they're positive, it's something else. Anyway, I've been well. How have you been?
I've been good. Also reflecting to the results thing, I think we're on the same page. Ours normally come out during, I think, the second, if not third week of December. And during that time, I'm just like, I lose focus so much in being in the moment of festive season. But let me just be optimistic and just hope for the best.
Awesome. All the best to you too.
Thank you.
Before we dive into a lot, as I would normally do, we have our mini icebreaker. Okay, what's on your mind today? Just generally about everything that has been happening. What's on your mind?
What's on my mind now? Recently, I just came across these kids on social media. The other one I follow so much, her name is Sima. She's one
Sima,
of the
from Spreading Humus,
Yes.
Spreading Humus, whatever. That's Sunday podcast from McG's Network. I know Sima.
Yeah, so there's just been a whole lot of opinions being shared on the social media that actually she's being bashed for getting back together with her ex, who apparently gave her a hard time during the last part of their relationship. So I'm just like, man, things that are happening now with the kids or the youngsters, it's just crazy.
Yeah, no. So Sima is trending for all the wrong reasons. Or maybe the right reasons.
Yeah, but on the bright side, I think she's really doing good for herself as a kid. I mean, she's securing the bag pretty much well. Yeah.
Have you seen her following on TikTok?
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, like
So
a
massive.
couple of almost 2 million, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Sima is
So
big, man.
massive.
But
Yeah.
funny enough, I didn't know her until she joined Spreading Humus or whatever.
Really?
I only found out about her when she came and got introduced by McG on the network that they're going to be starting a new podcast called Spreading Humor. It's
Yeah.
probably airing every Sunday. With the other two guys. There's the petty guy and the other chick. And I've picked up that Sima and that other chick on that podcast don't really get along, eh? They're just pretending.
Really? I
That's
just think maybe they come from different worlds, and then therefore their opinions and sentiments are kind of like they clash most of the time, and also the personalities, because the other one looks like a rich kid, and Sima is just a kid who's doing well. She's not yet
And
on
she
that
had
level.
an average upbringing, unlike the other one.
Unlike the other one.
Because I once watched the first episode. I only watched one episode of that thing and never really bothered to watch the others because I just feel like it's not relatable content to me because I'm slightly older than those kids. Their content does get boring at some point. The other kid, the chick, she was saying that when she was 16, she once spent like 20K on a boyfriend.
Yeah.
I'm like, why do you get 20K as a 16-year-old?
Reason why I'm saying it's crazy, the things that kids are doing nowadays is just like it's like they're living in their own different world.
Yeah, but the Matutas are coming for it, right?
Yeah, they are. Hey? They're coming in very hard because when you look at it, also career-wise, I think when they want something, they go for it.
Yeah, I feel like they are very, very not just confident, but they are very particular about what they want. And once they decide, they don't look back. They just go for it, and then they make it happen. And I think maybe what works for them is that they are not scared of rejection. You know, some people are scared of rejection. What if I try and it doesn't work? And then they are not scared of that. They're happy to explore anytime. You know. But yeah, I followed a little bit of that, but not so much. You know, like this.
Also, for me, I think the content or the episodes. I first check the tags, and then if maybe I can relate to a lot of context there, and then I watch it. But most of them, I think I really don't relate to it.
Relate, but they're almost your age, no? So you should relate to their content.
They're almost my age, but I don't think. Like, yeah, logically yes, but not really.
Yeah, man.
So what are we talking about today?
Before we got there, there's just something that I've been observing in the past week or so with regards to politics. I'm not sure if you've had a moment to watch Malima's interview. It was not this past week, but the other week, where it was on Metro FM talking about, you know, the EFF and what their plans are for next year as we're heading towards the elections next year, the national democratic elections. He stated a couple of points about that. Remember when there was the Rugby World Cup, no? There was no load shedding because of a sport that was happening in France, not even here.
Yes.
But we're supporting the Springboks. Nothing against the Springboks. Well done once again, boys. But now, load shedding is back. And the matrics have started their exams, I think, last week already. What is the logic in that? That when there's a sport, a national sport playing, some rugby playing, there's no load shedding. But now, when the kids have to study and write exams, now load shedding is back. Why are we not getting our priorities straight? Well, what is wrong with this country, if you can tell me?
Logically, I also think it really doesn't make sense, because come to think of it, I mean, if we had experienced load shedding during those days where the Bokkers were playing and things like that, even if maybe we lose the episodes or the games, like, we had nothing to lose, did we? But now...
Nope. But now, so sport is more...
It's as if we put...
important than education.
Studying, yes.
Nah.
Because now, if you check, say maybe, even I think also during examinations, especially now looking at the matriculants sitting for exams, just 2 hours of load shedding, especially during the night, I think they lose so much time.
So they must buy candles now.
See?
Yeah.
Which is really not fit for them to study in candles. I mean, it's 2023. Why are they going through that?
Speaking of load shedding, there's this story that I had. This is actually funny. There's nothing funny about load shedding, though. Please forgive me. But there's this guy in his village, for example. They didn't get load shedding. So he called the radio station. He called Bodpet. Bodpet, here in my village, you don't get load shedding. Eh? At all, nothing. And then the next day, they started getting load shedding. And then now the whole village was blaming him to say, why did you call the radio and tell them that they don't get load shedding?
Gave a tip-off out. A bad
that guy killed me. Now everyone has to suffer because of his big mouth. Fuck that guy, bro. Anyway, man, yeah, that's what has been on my mind. I just found it to be a little bit crazy and unfair on the kids, because now they have to suffer. Whereas, you know, like, there's a poster I saw during the rugby thing that said that the Rugby World Cup basically showed us that there's nothing wrong with ESCOM. If they can afford not to have load shedding for like 2 weeks, then there's nothing wrong with ESCOM. It's like Malima said, I don't disagree with Juju, né? But Juju said load shedding is a man-made thing. There's no problem with ESCOM, but they're just making it. There's someone who's benefiting. You must remember that. I remember, I think it was ShopRite at some point that they said they had lost a lot of millions in powering the generators during the load shedding period, right? Because it gets that expensive. Even some KFCs, right? During load shedding, them opening and running on a generator chows on their profits for that 2.5 hours or 2 hours. So them closing shop during load shedding saves them money than when they run generators. So you see, so whoever is selling those generators, or the one who's providing fuel to run those generators, someone is benefiting from load shedding. It's always like that. It's like with COVID, when there was COVID, as much as people were dying, but the price of, or the amount of sanitizers that were being sold, masks and stuff like that, the PPE basically was like selling like hotcakes, more than even bread or anything. So in any situation, what I'm trying to say to you is that there's
someone who's
who's benefiting. If now, it's like with computer virus, for example, there's someone who's creating viruses to sell you an antivirus to kill that virus. So it's always this whole chain. Even our president himself has got a coal company called Shanduka. Shanduka supplies, it does business with the government, and is the president, remember. He's also doing business with the government, where he's supplying the government with coal through his company called Shanduka, which he kind of like said before he became president, that he was not gonna engage in any business activities with the state, because it's an irregularity, if you can put it like that. So yeah, let me not bore you with my political facts, but I was just trying to highlight that these people are taking us for a ride, man. But
for me, I thought maybe we were gonna be off the hook up until they finished the exams, but then I think last week
and then started
yeah, because in the area that I live in, we do experience load shedding, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so that really threw me off, actually. So yeah, anyway, I think it's time for us to introduce today's topic, which is not a very hectic topic. I think it's relatable on all levels, whether you are a young adult, just an adult, or you're a senior citizen. It doesn't matter at this age. I mean, the world has changed over the years, right?
Yeah.
And now things are a little bit hectic. They always say that money runs the world, but I feel like in the past 4 or 5 years with social media, we've seen a lot of it, and I think social media is also putting pressure on people, just generally. How genuine, before we go further, how genuine do you think Instagram is, the life that is portrayed on platforms like Instagram? Do you think it's real, or there's some fakeness in between that?
When it comes to Instagram or any social media platform as a whole, I think a lot of things are staged, because remember, Instagram, I think it's been made to be a platform that it's aesthetic worthy, you know what I mean? A lot of things, man, are kind of staged to portray a perfect space, a perfect lifestyle, a perfect fashion sense and things like that. Because if you check, lately Instagram is based on the quality of the camera that you use. It's based on the quality of the background that you capture pictures at, a lot of things. So I think it's not genuine. It's really not.
Yeah. So coming to that, I just feel like there's a lot of fake life, and it's putting pressure on a lot of people unnecessarily. I think some depressions are actually caused by some of that life, because you'll probably see someone you grew up with, they will be living this perfect life that they portray on the platforms, but that might not be the real life that they actually living. Sometimes you'll find that a girl that you grew up with, just an ordinary girl now, she lives in Sandton, she drives this Porsche and all of that, and only to find out that behind when the cameras go off, that's not the real life that they live in. And some of those girls maybe are putting their lives at danger, at risk for that kind of lifestyle. But that's not the topic for today. What I wanted to get to is that how much has social media influence the dating scene. By the dating scene, I mean that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like people now, more than anything, especially in the 20s and 30s, more than just love and reassurance and affection and all of that, it's more like people are looking for help more than just love and affection and support and companionship, if I can put it like that. What do you think? Do you think relationships are still as genuine as they were maybe? I don't imagine that you were dating 10 years ago, but I was. But
Yeah, of course not.
yeah, you were too young for that shit. Yeah, but okay, just hypothetically speaking, do you think relationships are deemed the same as they were like 10 years ago? Because I just feel like now there's a lot of influence and pressure coming from the social media, which influences people to look for certain things in people. For example, I'll give you an example. As a guy, you can't really date if you don't have a decent car, a decent apartment, a decent job. But you need all of that to date someone who doesn't have the same possessions as they expect it to be. How does it work? Why don't we have that balance?
For a start, I would say that relationships are not what they were back then, because if you look at it, like you initially started the topic, is that I think most people right now are looking for a specific vision when they go into a relationship. An example of that would be most typical social media relationships. If you check on Instagram or TikTok or wherever, most relationships, you find that the guy or the lady have their own place, they have a car, they're working, they have all these things, and it looks as if maybe they're looking for a particular list to say, if a person is having this, therefore I'm gonna be in a relationship with them. And just like this one TikTok video that went viral, this lady was saying that and today you find a lady saying, I won't date someone if, no, actually she said that you'd find that there's a lady, she doesn't pay a bond, she does not pay a car installment, she's not at school or doesn't have a degree, but she would put standards to say, this is the kind of a partner that I'm looking for,
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it comes back to that. It really comes back to that, because relationships now are just like we spoke about in one of our episodes. Money is, I'm not sure if it's the first or second thing nowadays that has to be checked if it's
So, but now, I'm sorry to cut you off there. If now money takes more preference than anything else, so it means that I can be a dick and get any chick because I have money.
Definitely.
What if I have money and then I'm abusive? And abuse comes in different forms, right? There's financial abuse, there's emotional abuse, there's physical abuse, there's verbal abuse. Let's say I have the money, maybe I do everything, I buy you all the hair that you want and stuff like that. But the way I talk to you, there's zero respect. Are you still gonna stick with me because I have money?
I think also that is one exact reason why most ladies are still in toxic relationships. It's because of money. Because one thing for sure is that no female would accept just a guy with no money who doesn't provide them with anything to abuse them in any manner without money. Because what they check first is that, okay, this person, also it goes back to, most of these guys who they know that they have money and all that.
Financial power.
Yes, they kind of like study the love language and all that. And one common thing about females is that being spoiled is one of the love languages. Being given money is one of them. So if they know that maybe they've upsetted you in any way, they just give you money or take you to
so that they can buy you.
Yes, in simple
So,
terms,
but now, I don't wish to be those ladies in this instance. But how long can you sustain that for, like that kind of life that you are? Because I mean, what I've realized, even in business, right? Let's say now I take on some work from one of my clients. What I would say is that I'll require 50% deposit before I do the work, and then the other 50% they can pay me upon the completion of the work and when they are happy. What I can tell you is that money is definitely power, right? But I will reject any offer that comes with any disrespect. As much as you might be paying me, but you don't have the right to disrespect me. So if now say you pay me 50% to do some work for you, and then now you become this rude and disrespectful person that I don't know, I don't mind actually returning your 50% and you keeping your money, because I value my well-being and being respected more than just anything, you know. So I ask myself, how do these ladies endure that kind of life of being disrespected and ridiculed and all of that just because of money? I mean, now we're gonna come back to this. We're gonna come back to maybe independence. How important do you think independence is for anyone, not just a woman, but a man? Because I don't know if you've watched this other Showmax series called Adulting. You know Adulting, right?
Yes, of course.
There was this guy that was dating the MSc, and then she was abusing him. She bought him a GTI, and then he went and jailed with this other varsity chick, and then he threw a party for her and all of that. And then she found out she whipped his ass, like, and then you know what? You know what? She killed me with that. She whipped his ass. He got mad. Later on, hours later, she was like, "Mom, like it didn't have a right to be angry." No, that killed me. So it works both ways. It's not just like a ladies being women, like, because there are male gold diggers as well.
Definitely.
So, but how important do you think it is for an individual, not a lady or a man in this case, to be independent, financially independent? That is because I feel like when you're financially independent, you make much more informed decision. You don't think on your dick or on your private part or whatever. You make a much more informed decision, and it makes you to be less tolerant to disrespect, if I can call it like that. Yeah, you don't settle for less.
I think the importance for anyone to be independent, it helps you to make very sound decisions when it comes to yourself, and also you don't neglect your values as a person when you're individual, because you are able to restrict other things and not accept them. Like you said, that if maybe someone who employs you doesn't take seriously the respect between the both of you, you'd rather maybe pull out from that. Yeah, I think being independent.
Same time.
Yeah, I think being independent as a person helps you that, because if you're not independent, you tend to accept whatever situation or inconvenience that comes your way, just for the sake of, you know, that you're gonna be you're going to be still afloat in other times.
Either way.
Yeah, and I think that's also something that is present in relationships, because if you're independent, you know that you're not gonna stay for any sort of abuse. Because I think most ladies think that if they leave, probably they reflect on the background from home or whatever. They know that if they leave, they're gonna lose all the lifestyle that they've attained from that relationship.
I'm gonna come back to my question. Does that mean now, do people date more for help than just companionship, love, and building together? Like, it seems to me like if you can provide a certain lifestyle to a lady, let's say she doesn't even stay with you, maybe you offer to pay her rent.
Yeah.
He's gonna love you for that. The fact that the guy's paying my rent.
Exactly.
He's got power over me. Like, he can have the power over me because he's paying my rent.
Yeah.
But what was gonna happen if you were able to pay your own rent? Would you still love the same guy now? That's my biggest question.
I think that is dependent on the type of the person, because other people right now, there are some ladies who would still say no to a guy who has money and all that.
Based on their life principles.
Exactly. Like those who can deny all the lifestyle and all the money just because maybe a guy doesn't have respect, or the guy's abusive, or anything like that. But there are girls who would go all out just to receive all the benefits from the relationship, regardless of how they're treated or if they're happy or not in the companionship.
So, do you think the amount of money a guy has determines how much respect he gets from his partner?
Definitely not, because I mean, there's no in between. If there's respect, there's respect. If there's not respect, there's no respect. Don't you think? Or is there a level of, are there levels of respect? I don't think
Okay.
so.
Let's say a guy had a job, no?
Mm-hmm.
And then something happened. Sadly, he loses his job. Let's say when he had a job, he used to provide most of the things in the house, like pay the bond, the cars, buy groceries, and all that. When he loses his job, some of those things aren't gonna be possible anymore. Do you think the respect will change from what it used to be to now that he doesn't have a job? Do you think it's supposed to change, or does it change? Or let's look at the real world. How does it work these days?
To answer the first one, I don't think it will change unless if it depends on the other person. If the other person in the partnership doesn't have any respect, then they'll definitely lose respect for you, and that will only mean that the whole time they were influenced to respect you based on what you were offering, right? Yes.
Because I'm saying this because during COVID, a lot of relationships or marriages basically ended because of, first of all, as partners, for example, let's say we both work, we don't spend a lot of time together as much as we did during COVID. Maybe you spend your 8 hours at work, I spend 8 hours at work, and now we're stuck in the same house. Now I started picking up
to do now. You have more time.
Yeah, more time together, and then now I start picking up other habits that I actually overlooked because we're both busy. And then even worse, one of the people or one of the partners, either the husband or the wives or both, lose their jobs. And it's a new dynamic that has been introduced to the relationship, because maybe you guys met back 5 years back or whatever, you're both working, but now there's a new dynamic that has been introduced, which is unemployment. And you never really
experienced each other
like that. You've never seen also your partner at their lowest and stuff like that. Do you think those kind of situations like COVID exposed like fake partners, if we can call them that?
Definitely, and I think that is another reason why it's very significant for you to know your person. Obviously, you can't entirely know the person that your partner was, because
you can't know them inside out.
Someone may say it takes a lifetime to know somebody, but obviously, I mean, if you happen to see another new side of that person, and then you can't tolerate it, do you even love that person? Because if you get to experience unemployment with that person and it's a new thing, if you really really love them, then you're still gonna love that person regardless of what's happening. But if you don't, you can't say you love someone because they are employed or they earn X amount of money, right? Do you think so?
There's something I once read, which I don't know if I should believe or not, that if you have money as a guy and you have a respectful wife or partner or whatever the case may be, or girlfriend, they say you can't say your partner is submissive because you have money, because mostly this may be a misconception, I'm sorry, but they say women submit to money, not to you. They submit to the bag. How true is that? I think Nisha is Kongosine, guys. I left her speechless. Is that true that women submit to money, not to the actual person?
Should I answer that generally?
Yes, please. Guys, we're trying to be as genuine as possible here, right? We're not trying to portray some fake podcast nyana. That's why we call ourselves Life Unfiltered. We're not filtering shit.
I really think, to be quite honest, I think more money earns a man more respect. Not not the respect where I don't shout at you, I address you properly. No, not that. But the respect that you're being given even in your absence. If you know what I mean. You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. Like, yeah.
So yeah, I think yeah.
What was the question again? That women submit to money.
Yeah.
So yes, the short answer to that is yes.
Yeah. But I think I gave the explanation to my best.
You tried to break it down.
Yeah. It's not about we submit to money that no, how much do you have? I'm gonna do this for you if you have this money. No. Yeah, but it gives you that level of respect where even if you're not there, I'm gonna give you that respect that you deserve. You know what I mean? Even if maybe another guy was to come to me, maybe try their luck and talk me through, like I'm not gonna entertain that. You know that
because you know that you have a man.
Yeah, I know that the bag is secured at home.
And another thing, guys, let me look at the camera. Yo, my dog, if your chick or your girlfriend or your wife addresses the one like speaking about you and she says my man, you've earned that shit. Women just don't say my man. If you say my man, like you are looking after a prop there. Women just don't say my man. My man is earned. And then if about post that she posts you on like WhatsApp and stuff like that, women don't post useless man. You need to be there for him in all on all levels. So yeah, anyway, I think I got my answer there. But coming back to this one, what is the purpose of dating then? I think for women, what do women look at? What boxes must you tick when you go into that? Because like we said, money is playing a critical role now, but let's put money aside. Let's look at other stuff. What could influence them not to like you even when you have money? As much as you have money, but what can influence the females not to prefer you even though you have money? Is it when you're arrogant? Is it when you're disrespectful? Is it when you're... I don't know, what are the red flags that they pick up quickly before they decide not to date you even when you have the money?
I think the most common one, the most common red flag that females tend to pick is how you treat your family, right? Because we females are receivers. We receive love, we receive all these things, we receive emotions and all that. If you can't respect your mom or take care, not take care per se, but the kind of love that you show to your mother, right? If you don't show like the kind of love that we expect to see to your mom, like that's a red flag. If you can't respect your mom, are you gonna respect me? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Chances are no.
Yeah, if you don't respect your mom, are you gonna respect me or my parents? You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, that's...
But say we met at Groove, we just grooving, vibing, we somewhere at a club. You can't pick those things up immediately. We're not even talking about family there, but I mean at first experience whereby you met a guy for the first time at Groove, and maybe you like him, he's got the looks, he looks like he's got the bag, but now what kind of red flags are you picking up within let's say within that hour? Let's say he buys you a drink, you guys start having a conversation and stuff like that. What kind of red flags can you pick up within that hour of having a conversation with that guy, that no, that guy's actually a dick? As much as he has the money, I wouldn't maybe fuck with him.
As much as it takes like more than adequate time for you to get to know someone, but in the first encounter, like the moment someone opens their mouth, like you know that person.
Like what kind of right stuff do they have to say, or what is the wrong stuff that they will say to actually throw
Clash
you
the
off?
whole thing. But also it depends with the setting. If it's at Groove, that time you're like under the influence of alcohol, you cannot really tell. But I think you can pick up some of the characteristics or the personalities and things like that, you know. For example, you might meet someone at Groove, and then the moment they buy a drink, you sit down with them and have a chat. All they're saying is, no, I've got this, I've got this. Like, right away is a red flag. Why would you do that?
Why is that a problem then?
I just think maybe a lot of ladies don't like people who brag, like intentionally.
Or about stuff, right?
Yeah, about stuff, especially things that you have. I mean, you don't have to talk about things, have to talk for you. Yeah, you don't have to.
What if I'm trying that to use it as how does this as a bait?
Then you're beating yourself on the leg. You might lose someone that might.
I was going to be genuine about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but coming back to that, right? Some people can actually be very materialistic as well because they judge you based on how you're dressed, the kind of phone that you are using, maybe your car keys and stuff like that. I might be wrong about this now, but some ladies will get thrown off, or they'll find a little bit of a turn off the fact that a guy maybe has an Android phone and not an iPhone when they have an iPhone. Do things like that matter actually, or to some people?
Yeah, to some people it does, because remember, so you might, I'm not sure if it exists, but there are people who are using Android's phone and their bank balance is like crazy.
Yeah, they've got bigger bank balances, and sometimes it's not even about not affording an iPhone, but it's a matter of preference.
Exactly.
I prefer an Android phone over an iPhone because it works better for me.
And remember,
with the stuff that I want to do.
Yes, and remember, there's some guys or females that are not materialistic. They don't care about these things. They don't care about the quality of the camera, the space of the phone. They don't care about these things, like genuinely.
But this day and age, nah, I'm really reluctant to believe that. If there are certain ladies like that, I think it's just maybe a portion of them, because I feel like most of the things these days are all about what is the whole hype about Gucci then? Yeah, I mean, if a guy rocks up at a club wearing a relay from Macam, whatever, and another guy is wearing a Gucci, chances are the guy wearing a Gucci is probably going to get a hotter chick than the guy wearing a relay. And you might find that the one that's wearing a Gucci is probably with his last money. The one with the relay maybe is not impressed by like expensive clothes and stuff like that. He can afford it, but it doesn't prefer to. So, but you see that what you appear as, actually, you're basically selling yourself as a person to say, if I'm wearing a Gucci, the impression I'm giving is the fact that I can afford this, and that. You find that when I get to the club, I pop bottles like VSOPs, champagne, and all of that. And you find that the other guy in a relay thing, as much as there's money, he prefers to drink his simple beer, like a simple Corona, a Castle Light. But now the impression already, or the perception in the ladies' mind, is that the guy with the Gucci has a fatter bank balance than the other one. You see that where the problem starts.
You know, and the funny thing now is, you see the one who is with the Gucci and all that is likely to attract ladies with no pure intentions in most cases. You know why? The thing that I've realized lately is that
I like where you're going. Yeah, continue.
The thing that I've realized lately is that people with money, they really don't want to sell themselves out. You'll find that he's wearing the most expensive jeans, but you will not know unless if maybe he's told you what jeans he's wearing.
Yeah, I understand.
But the one you might be wearing, for example, I don't know, the most expensive jean, and maybe I'm wearing just Gucci pants, right? In most cases nowadays, what I've seen is that me with the Gucci one, chances are my balance really doesn't allow me to, or I want to fit in, or I want to be Instagram worthy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's all about trying. That's why my first question when we started this thing was that how much influence does like mostly Instagram has on people just generally, because sometimes I feel like people live for the outside world, and sometimes people don't really even care, and then the moment they log out, they've really forgotten about you. So let's talk about those girls with not so pure intentions when they go clubbing. What are their intentions then when you attract them as a guy that's wearing Gucci and all of that? What is the difference between the okay, maybe I'm gonna go back to this first.
Okay.
Do we have any ladies with pure intentions in the club?
In the club? Yeah. That portion is just very small.
What are they doing at group if they have pure intentions?
You know, there are some ladies that honestly they do want a genuine guy who maybe they could build something genuine with, but they're just not lucky enough to meet that person. And just, does that mean that now you stop living your life? No. If maybe there's a girls' night out and we plan it, yeah, I do.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. But that doesn't mean that you're not looking for something that's genuine or something that's. There are girls. I know one girl that she was those type of girls who would go to clubs now and again, and then she finally met someone genuine, and now she doesn't go anymore. And it's not like maybe the.
Did you met them at the club or not at the club?
I'm not sure about that.
You won't get into trouble for this, eh?
No. I didn't disclose anyone.
It could be anyone.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but are there also guys with good intentions in the club rocking some Gucci there, going there to look
I
for
don't
a wife?
believe so.
Why not?
A club. A man in the club.
Yeah, what if I'm looking for a wife?
In the club.
Yeah, why not? As much as there are girls with good intentions in the club, I can find myself a wife. You know Mo Flavor? He's married now to a chick he met at group.
Really?
Yeah, he met his wife now, then girlfriend, at some Rock the Girls parties or something. And then they vibed. Now they're married with 2 kids. So you
That's
see?
nice. But I think it's really scarce for that to happen.
You can meet a chick at church and then she can be a bitch after that.
Yeah, most definitely.
And apparently churches have the most rejects.
Yeah, the pool is larger there.
No, because apparently church is like a hospital for retired hoes, you know. When they've done it all and now they're tired, they go to church.
Yeah.
And then some guys go to fish at church and then they find that they're fishing some terrible, terrible people. So yeah, and I believe you can find a partner anywhere, guys, even in a taxi.
Anyway, yeah. There's just some places that maybe the chances are very slim, but basically anywhere. The mall, at the strip club, anywhere.
You think you can meet a wife at a funeral?
And the funerals, it's a hot zone for wives, and don't allow your partner to go on
Funerals alone.
accompany them, make a plan to go with them, take a day off or something.
And you can meet a wife at a wedding as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. But not the bride, right?
Yeah,
just a random chick at it.
Recently I was supposed to, I think early this year I was supposed to attend my friend's wedding.
And?
So I ended up not going because of other reasons, not this one I'm about to say. So the person I stay with was like, hey, this thing of you guys going to
weddings,
you're gonna do all these things, and then after they set a table for you, a special one, and there you're paired up, it's 5 boys and 5 girls. By the time you're eating, what are you talking about? You take pictures,
your plans.
You exchange numbers.
You know what you remind me of now? I once saw this post. It's funny, or it's kind of cruel, but funny. So they're like, you will find your girlfriend or your boyfriend a job, ne? Gandhi, at that job they are going to meet their life partner. Leave that person to sell archery. Because if you find them a job, they might go meet their life partner at that job that you found for them.
But that's selfish.
How is it selfish?
It is. Why wouldn't you allow your partner to explore something, gain skills, gain
What if you are sending them to meet their life partner?
Well, I don't know.
So it means they were not loyal enough.
Yeah, or probably they didn't love you enough.
So but when it comes to that, does loyalty exist? And if we say that money kind of like rules the world, do we still have a genuine loyalty, even in friendships, for example? Let's say now with my friends who are used to going out every weekend, we're popping bottles. We're good. We all contribute towards that bill every weekend, and then it gets to a point whereby maybe I can't afford to go out anymore. Maybe, God forbid, I lose my job. I can't go out with them. As much as they might invite me for the first 2 or 3 weeks, it will get to a point also where I'll feel like a little bit of a burden to say, I can't be always making you pay the bill all the times, and then I'll probably try to distance myself. I mean, how would you navigate through something like that? Because as much as they might want to help you and all of that, but you will get to a point also as a person you feel like, I think this is where I draw the line. Where do we now put loyalty in that friendship or in that relationship? We're gonna go back to the unemployment one. It's a when you're someone like me who's used to giving, and not receiving, and now when you need to live from handouts, it becomes a little bit of a problem. You feel a little bit less of yourself. Not that you're arrogant or anything, but it's not the kind of lifestyle that you're used to. Yeah, because you're normally a giver, and now you have to live off handouts, or you need to be a receiver. Where do you now draw the line to say, now I'm becoming a burden, or this is why I draw the line to say, I don't want to bother these people anymore? Or say, me as a husband, I lose a job, or I'm broke, and then now I have to live off my wife's thing, salary and stuff like that. How do I draw the line to say, even if I want something, I'm not gonna ask? Because I remember, what is his name? Tolesmo, at some point, they were speaking to DJ Fresh, who said that as much as my wife was providing for me, it got to a point where I stopped asking her for stuff. I would rather make a plan outside, because it just got to a point I felt like I was becoming a little bit of a burden to her. As much as she's my wife and she doesn't mind doing it for me, but it felt like it was just a bit too much to his wife. Where do you now draw the line in terms of that, especially as a male figure? Because I mean, men are meant, or they're
natural leaders.
Not just leaders, but providers. But now that you can't provide anymore, now you need to be provided for, which is not a norm in our society. How do you think men deal with that? Is it an easy thing? Well, I've never been in that situation, to be honest, so it's hard for me to relate. But let's speak generally here from anyone's perspective.
I think also that depends on what kind of a person you are, right?
Yeah.
Because there's some people who they don't really put entitlement between them and any person they're in a relationship with, be it a friendship or relationship or marriage or whatever. There's some men who would definitely won't mind to relax and let the female take the lead and provide everything.
Yeah, run the family basically.
Yeah, and
run the house.
Yeah, and they'll be fine with it. They'll just stay at home 24/7, or maybe cook at times and clean or do whatever. But on the other hand, there are men that their ego wouldn't just let them. They're probably something that they're brought up with, or something that has to do with their principles, or something that they just tell themselves that, you know what, I'm not gonna let any woman provide for me.
Yeah, because I know the guys that are used to doing everything, right? And then when they can't do that, they can't provide anymore, they feel a little bit less of a man, or they feel depressed that they can't do certain things. And now, no, I just pray that if I ever find myself in that situation, maybe I'm able to deal with that in a proper manner, because it probably won't be like a permanent situation. But God always has a way to test relationships, to test certain things, to see how people actually. I know a guy who actually took leave from his job for 3 weeks, and then he told his wife that he was fired, and he wanted to actually gauge the behavior when it's working and when it's not working. And then I think the wife passed the test. She didn't become a bitch. She treated him well. She gave him the respect he deserved. Or maybe it's because that even when he was working, where she claimed he was fired, he was a good person. He wasn't a dick as well. So she didn't find any reason to be nasty or anything towards him. So I feel like I'm gonna go back to that first episode that we shot. What did I say about dating people? as much as you might be married, but you're still dating in any way. Marriage is just a label that you put on it. But date kind people, guys. I feel like when you're dating a kind person, certain things won't happen because they respect you. The level of respect that's there doesn't allow them to treat you in a certain way. Yeah, whether you are at your lowest or at your highest and everything. So I think it all comes back to that respect. But yeah, there's another one I wanted to touch on, that as much as women love money so much and they go for guys with bigger pockets and the big bag, isn't that some form of we haven't found a name for it, but for now, for the sake of the podcast, we'll call it prostitution. Is that not some form of prostitution? Because it's more like a transaction, right? When you receive money, you give a certain service, right? So a woman will, because I know at Coffee Midrand, there's a lot of chicks there that are kind of like selling, but indirectly. Because you ask a chick for a number or whatever, or if you want to maybe, spend some time with her that night, or maybe buy a drink or something. And you know what, one thing leads to another, and then maybe you want to take home. But I've been told, I didn't experience this firsthand, but I was told that the chicks at Coffee Midrand, when you take home, they start demanding things like 3K or 2K, and if you don't do that, they call the cops on you.
What?
Yeah, the Midrand police station will be knocking at your door if you don't give them what they want. And sometimes they don't tell you this the night before, they demand it the next morning. So, but isn't that like some form of prostitution? Because now you are giving something in exchange of money, which you'd never really disclose in the first place. But even if you do, is that the world that we should normalize that, or that we should live in now, that chicks at Groove are basically selling, but it's normal now. There's nothing wrong with it.
It's a sad thing that currently that kind of style or lifestyle is being romanticized, it's being made a norm. But at the same time, I feel like it's really not fair, because remember, there was no communication of some sort about that. Remember, you might meet someone at Groove and maybe buy them something and think maybe that was their sort of compensation, right?
Yeah, because you settled a very big bill, right?
Yeah, and then now you don't even know that the next morning you're gonna be demanded a huge amount of money.
So if they tell you beforehand that if you take me home, I demand X amount, does that make it right then?
Yes, because now you're being given an opportunity to choose whether you're going for it or not, right? Yeah, I think that's fair. That's definitely fair. If they tell you, no, if we go home, maybe I'm gonna demand X amount, like in that moment.
Yeah, you've got the option whether to say stay behind or let's go.
Yes. And now in the morning, if you change your statement, then she has the right to call the cops on you.
Right? I see. Well, I guess it's a transaction, right? But okay, what my argument is that we do have some establishment where they sell those services where you can go buy as a guy. I just feel like at Groove, we've really, how did we get here? We've really normalized this whole thing. And I think girls have seen a niche or an opportunity at Groove because they know that's where guys spend most of their money. So they also maybe want a share of that money. Does that make it okay though for us to operate like that as society? Because imagine now, as a young adult, maybe you are 29, 30 there. A girl is doing this from maybe 22 until 27. Maybe at 27, she's like, fuck, I'm tired of this life. And then when now you're walking down the street, you see a wife, not knowing what kind of stuff she used to get up to. And then you just go, you pay lobola. Say one day the truth comes out and you find out the lifestyle she used to live back then. Would you still look at the person the same way?
For me, like from a guy perspective.
Yeah, from a guy, yeah. You find a chick that she was kind of like a prostitute, but not directly. But if you find out, like information always has a way of coming out, right? Someone tips you off and be like, hey, but that girl that you call your wife, she used to do this kind of things. Would you still look at her the same way?
Hey, I don't know, hey. I don't know, but
getting a wife now is tricky, eh?
But no, look at it, right? Think about it. for that, it happens every time with guys. Every
What
time with
happens
guys.
every time?
Like, it's not like your guys maybe are selling or whatnot, but the only difference with the girls and the guys now is that guys don't do it for money. But guys, if you hear guys' body counts, you'd be very surprised. You'd be very surprised. So now it's still the same. If your partner or wife gets to know, like maybe in future gets to know, no, that person dated so and so, so they dated so, it's like it's still the same.
It's not the same. Let me tell you something. And men and women are not the same. I'll say this because, they always say that a lock that can be opened by any key is not a safe lock, but a key that can open multiple locks is a master key.
No, that's not fair.
What's not fair?
No, that's not fair. But
And
we both receive energies, don't we?
You said it yourself at some point that women are receivers, so it means men are givers.
What do you give?
Energy. What do you give? What a question. Energy. And then you receive the energy.
No, but in terms of that, no, we're not receivers. We both receive energy in this case, don't we? We do.
But I feel like in reality, a man's body count is not as it's not as society doesn't see it as much of a problem as a woman.
No, say you males don't see it like that, but honestly, it is the same.
Because imagine now, this thing of getting wives, guys, you must, I don't know, but you can't do enough amount of background checks. But I'm imagining now you marry a chick who's an ex-hooker. If let's say she was a hooker for 10 years and then she decided to retire and like, fuck, I'm looking for a husband now. And like you find out like 5 years later, do you still continue or you just put the past, let the past be the past and then just move on? But I feel like with men, it's not easy to remove such information
You
in your head.
overthink it too much. That's the problem.
There's no overthinking. Okay.
No, I think males overthink it too much.
How?
Like you wanna think about it into detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is wrong.
But you can't afford not to. Yeah, I think as a guy, that's how we're wired, eh? Like as guys, we're wired
I think
like
that's
that.
the reason why maybe a lot of guys cannot stand there or get to know the people that did something with their partners and things like that. Because I know this one friend, I hope she doesn't watch
You won't
this.
get into trouble for this,
No.
I hope so, for your sake.
There's this one. No, she's not my friend actually.
It's a girl you know.
Yeah.
Mm.
She was a hooker, right? So, for like I think 3-4 years.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
Well, I'm being sarcastic.
So, her market was these Niger boys, right?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, this one time she got a client, an overnight client, and then she went to the client, and then I think maybe she gave the best service, and then that client became a frequent,
regular.
Yes, a regular client, and went on like that. So it got to a point where that client was like, you know what? Stop this crap. I wanna wife you.
Wow.
Yeah.
The guy's brave, eh?
Is he?
I think he's brave.
Yeah. So yeah, she stopped that. They've been together for like long enough, eh? Maybe 5 years now.
Are they married now?
Not married, but
They stay together.
it's a serious thing, yes.
So you know what my biggest fear is when it comes to that as a woman. Whenever I fuck up at some point, could it be anything? Let's say I go somewhere and pick up my phone. There will be a lot of insecurities from the guy's side, right? It might even get to a point of reminding you about your past life if you fuck up at some point. So I don't think if I was in the woman's shoes, I don't think I would have agreed to date that guy, because if anything happens, it's gonna remind you of your past life, which can be really emotionally triggering, and it can come across as very hurtful kind of words. But if she's happy, I mean, why not? Because I know people that have boyfriends, but they're also sex workers. I always wonder how it works. And the boyfriends are aware that these people are sex workers, but they.
But are these boyfriends South African?
Not that I've seen, but mostly it's like Niger or Org.
Yeah, hey, you can't try that with South Africans, boys, eh?
I think they're too jealous. No?
Hey, you'll get burnt. You can never try that.
So I once watched this other documentary of sex workers. How did we end up talking about sex workers, guys?
From dating to whatever, yeah.
So this chick says she had a boyfriend, and as she had a boyfriend, she told the boyfriend that she was working somewhere else, and then she would go see her boyfriend maybe once a week. So she was a sex worker, but what she did was that before she went to her boyfriend's place, she would put, like, you know, the brown cover that we used to cover books back then. She would put that as a pad on her undies, no? And then wear the undies with the brown cover thingy. So what that brown cover does, it sucks all the oil for the condoms. You see the condom oil? It sucks all of that, and then she also boils some choco tea, and then she uses it to wash her private area. And then when she goes to the boyfriend, he won't feel any difference outside.
Really?
Yeah, so I think she was giving other people tips of how to navigate through those things. But that guy, I think the guy was South African, but he was not aware what kind of work she was doing.
Oh,
yeah, only the Niger boys are brave enough to date someone who knows exactly what they're doing. Yeah, I know.
So talking about this, for you as a man, do you think there are certain, let's say maybe box that your partner needs to tick in relevance of social media, Instagram and things like that? Materialistic things, basically.
You know, I'll encourage this also, guys. If you're looking for a love partner, can you please normalize praying for one? Because people are struggling to find partners out there. For me, as long as someone is respectful and kind, like I said, if they respect you, they won't do things that will tarnish your name or that will make you look stupid in society. For example, if someone really loves you, they can't go and be doing things that will really make you look bad, or maybe hear from people that your partner is doing this at group or whatever. I think it all boils down to respect. If you guys respect each other, just like, as you know, when I go out of here, I'm a reflection of my partner at home. Same to you as well. So if you go around maybe doing stuff that will make your partner look, you are a reflection of your partner outside. So if I go out and I'm at Groove, I take off my top and I start, throwing alcohol all over. It's actually a bad image, not just for me, but for the person that I'm dating. Because when people see me, they won't just say this guy, but they'll say Sbanban's partner did this, and people that know her. I think it's a matter of, like you said, respecting your partner even in their absence. You don't just respect them when they're there. So yeah, it's hard to find someone who ticks the boxes, but if they respect you, I think the other things can be addressed, or we can work on those. But I think it all comes back to respect. And you mustn't get us wrong when we talk about money, guys. We're not saying money is not important in a relationship. It's definitely important, but there are things that are more valuable than money. Yeah, as much as someone has money, they need to be able to respect you. You must be able to respect each other. But I just feel like, from what I've observed in the past year or two, most people date for help mostly. Because I'll tell you this, for example, I don't think women have love for each other. You know why I say this? A woman can date a man who knows that the guy has a wife, for example. So she's got zero consideration of the other woman's feelings. If she finds out or whatever. But guys generally wouldn't do that, dating someone that they have a wife. No, especially as a guy. No? You can't date someone that has a husband, like a married woman. You know why were you scared of that? First of all, if the husband finds out, he's gonna kill you. And if he finds out whatever he's doing for her, If he lives there, now it's your problem. If he bought her a car, bought her a house, now she's got no place to stay and stuff like that. When he finds out,
It's your responsibility.
now it's your responsibility. So guys wouldn't normally do that, knowingly so. So a woman can date someone knowing that they sleep with their wife every day, but they date them.
But as a man, aren't you scared also that if you date a married woman, it might be done to you as well? Or you know how possibly that man would feel if ever
Yeah,
finds
that's why I
out.
always say, hey, with dating married women, there's a lot at stake. Like I said, you could literally get killed for dating someone's wife. Let's say that guy married that woman with 100k. He did a 300k wedding when I just come and try to fuck things up.
And also, I think it also doesn't stay there. Hey, with people really need to be careful with married people, dating married people. I think it goes deeper to spirituality, just like what we were talking about in the previous episode.
Yeah.
Because remember, that union is something that was
Blessed by God.
yes, it is.
And then when
set
I just
vows,
come there and start to fuck shit up.
you know,
Yeah.
you just start invading in something that had vows. Remember, the tongue is very powerful, and if something was put together and it involved God, they involved their vows, they involved this. And also, remember, some other people, when they get married, they go as far as maybe slaughtering a cow or whatever, so that like ancestors are in that union, right?
Yeah, they're
Just-
also vested in that.
Yeah, they
it's
just
not just
come
about
from-
the two of them. Eh?
yeah, you just come from wherever.
There's a
and-
lot of time of spirits.
yeah,
And when I just come and fuck shit up just like that.
yeah. So
Yeah,
be
so-
careful, hey.
So I just feel like it's very easy for another woman to destroy another woman. That's what I've seen. The respect there's zero or next to nothing respect in terms of the women, the way things women do to each other. You can even see it on some TV reality shows. There's this other show called This Body Works For Me on Showmax. The things those girls say to each other,
It's very mean.
it's scary. Yesterday I caught up on the last episode. There was this huge fight.
Or between Wendy and
then Gina.
And then Gina.
Yeah, even dresses were going up, we're seeing bumps there. I was like, yeah, this is interesting. You seen that one?
Yeah, I saw it. Hey.
I only caught up like yesterday, so I was like, no, this is very interesting. So yeah, man, I think we can never talk about this enough. And I mean, right now it's just my opinion and your opinion. I think there's more opinions out there. That's why I think we need to have another follow-up episode with this one where we'll be having like an instigator of some sort that will give us a third opinion, because you and I only see things from our own perspective, but there's a lot of perspectives to this, and some might actually see this from a positive one. But yeah, I think money has caused a lot of problems, and I think most of the abuse also emerges from the money side. Like you said, people will literally bow to you when you have money, which shouldn't be always the case. You must learn to reject offers or any treatment that comes with a lot of disrespect. Even if there's money involved, you should learn to reject those kind of offers. I know it's not always easy, but if you can, please.
Don't really accept.
Yeah. Are you comfortable? Is there anything else you want to touch on?
I think I lost some thought a while back. I can't really seem to bring it back, hey?
I can leave it for the next one.
Yeah.
So I think I definitely think we need to have a follow-up session on this one. A follow-up episode rather, with someone else from a completely different world. I would like us to also have a guy and a girl on the other side, just to get some different feedback. But yeah, man, I think it's been a good one. We've unpacked some really critical stuff in this one. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. But also, a quick one before we wrap it up. With let's say a male person, right, has a larger pocket. Don't you think a larger pocket from a male side, don't you think it influences more? Don't you think it influences them more to have multiple partners?
Like I said, money gives you power and choices as well, and options. Yeah, so that is mostly likely to happen. If a guy has money, bigger pockets, he's got options to pick from any girl, right? If he feels like maybe this girl is lacking this, he can go to the next one, but without really leaving the other one. I think it just gives people options, but again, it comes back to the respect that I said. If you really respect your partner, you're not gonna go and humiliate them like that. Imagine the whole world knowing that I'm seeing someone, but my wife doesn't know that I'm seeing that someone. How do they look at her? I make her look stupid in people's eyes. So that's what I'm saying. It all comes back to respect. If you really respect your person, you can't do things that will make them to be disrespected by society. You must be a good representation of your person, even in their absence or outside. When you're outside there, you always, it's like the company you work for. You know, if I get into a fight now at Groove, they have a right to fire me at work because I'm an image of the company when I'm outside there. So if I go around fighting and I'm trending on Twitter for fighting, the company has the right to actually terminate my contract because I'm bringing the company into disrepute, because they'll say, this employee is doing this. Yeah, so whether you're at work or you're at Groove or whatever, you're always a representation of the people that you are affiliated with. Yeah, so the respect is always at the top of the list, no matter what. Yeah, so yeah. I mean, I saw this thing of saying, if you don't have money, you can't preach about discipline because you haven't been tempted enough to do those things. So if you have money and you've managed to survive or overcome those kind of temptations, you've really won it. But it's all about thinking for the future and not thinking in the moment. You know, sometimes we get consumed by things like alcohol. You know, alcohol can make you make bad decisions sometimes. But I think as you mature more, you need to learn to conduct yourself whether you are under the influence or not.
Do you think when I finally catch the bag, I'm gonna be some sort of a bitch? Why are you laughing?
No, man, it's a valid question. Yes, you're not a bitch now. You look like you were raised well. But we need to give you some money to put you to proper test. Right now we can't confirm. I can't put a stamp on that. Let's give you some money. Let's see how you behave after with a couple of thousands, and then now we can put a stamp on it. But it also comes back to character as well. Sometimes some people have money and they can behave. Some people don't have money but they can't behave still. So it's also a character thing. It's not always about money. But I hope you don't become a bitch when you finally have enough money to make you a bitch. So now it's gonna be your choice whether you wanna be a bitch or not. Or not, you see. So cool, man. The job portal before we wrap up.
Okay, guys. So remember, if you're looking for opportunities and new adventures in careers, you can just simply log on to www.ultimatejobsusa.com, and if you're lazy to go on the website or Google, you can simply follow the page on social media platforms, on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. We also have a WhatsApp page that you find the link on each and every post that goes online. So
at the bottom of the post you will see a WhatsApp link, and then you can also find the latest vacancies there. And then all the best with the job hunting. I know it's not easy, but one day you will receive
that proper email,
that offer letter. And all the best with the interviews. Cool, man. I think we're out of here. Boom.